Chapter 15, The Lie That Sounded Like Truth. A successful lie is rarely built from fiction. The most dangerous lies are built from truth. A piece of truth. A fragment of reality. A carefully selected fact. Then one small twist. One tiny distortion. One subtle omission. And suddenly, people begin believing something that never happened. Vanessa Moore understood this better than anyone, because over the past several months, she had studied the Sinclair family carefully. Their fears. Their insecurities. Their assumptions. Most importantly, she had discovered one uncomfortable reality. The Sinclair family already wanted to believe the worst about Amelia. All Vanessa had to do was help them get there. The opportunity arrived sooner than expected. It began with a board meeting. A major one. Sinclair Corporation was considering an acquisition worth nearly $2 billion. Executives were divided. Investors were nervous. The board demanded answers. As usual, Ethan brought the issue home. As usual, Amelia reviewed every detail. 3 nights later, she delivered her conclusion. Don't do it. Ethan looked up. What? The acquisition. She pointed at several reports. The risks outweigh the benefits. Ethan frowned. That wasn't the answer he wanted. Most executives supported the deal. The board supported the deal. His father supported the deal. Walking away would create problems. Big problems. You think they're wrong? I think they're emotional. The statement made Ethan laugh. You're calling the board emotional. I'm calling them greedy. That made him laugh harder. God, he loved when Amelia spoke honestly. Even when nobody else would. By the end of the discussion, Ethan agreed. The acquisition was cancelled. A difficult decision. The correct decision. But difficult. The next morning, Ethan informed the board. The reaction was immediate. Several directors were furious. Richard Sinclair was particularly unhappy. The meeting ended in tension. Hours later, Victoria called Ethan. Concerned. Frustrated. Demanding explanations. Unfortunately, Vanessa happened to overhear part of the conversation. Or at least, that was what she later claimed. That evening, Victoria invited Vanessa to dinner. A private dinner. Just the two of them. By now, such invitations had become common. During dessert, Victoria sighed dramatically. Ethan has been impossible all day. Vanessa smiled politely. Big decisions create stress. Victoria shook her head. I don't understand why he changed his mind. Vanessa hesitated. The performance began. I probably shouldn't comment. That sentence always worked. Always? Because it guaranteed people would ask. And Victoria did. What is it? Vanessa lowered her gaze. Carefully? Reluctantly. As though she didn't want to say the words. I heard Mr. Sinclair discussing the deal with Amelia. Victoria frowned. And? Vanessa sighed. She strongly opposed it. A fact. Entirely true. Vanessa continued. I think she convinced him to cancel it. Another fact. Also true. Then came the lie. The tiny twist. The dangerous distortion. Honestly. She paused. I sometimes worry that Amelia has too much influence over him. Silence. A long silence. Because the statement sounded reasonable. Concerned. Protective? Not malicious. Not jealous. Not manipulative. Just concerned. Which made it incredibly dangerous. Victoria leaned back in her chair. Thoughtful. The seed had been planted. Again. A week later, the acquisition collapsed publicly. At first, investors criticized the decision. Financial analysts questioned Ethan's leadership. Media outlets predicted disaster. Then something unexpected happened. 3 months later, the target company became involved in a massive fraud scandal. Its stock crashed. Federal investigations began. Billions vanished. Sinclair Corporation had avoided catastrophe. Overnight, Ethan's decision transformed from controversial to brilliant. Business magazines praised his foresight. Investors celebrated his judgment. The board applauded. Everyone called him a genius. Everyone except Ethan. Because he knew exactly who deserved credit. Amelia. Again. That evening, Ethan arrived home carrying flowers. Should I be worried? Probably, she laughed. What happened? We were right. We usually are. He pointed at her. See? That's exactly the attitude I'm talking about. Amelia laughed harder. Then Ethan wrapped his arms around her, holding her tightly. Longer than usual. You saved us? She rested her head against his chest. We saved us. No. His voice softened. You did. The moment felt warm. Safe? Loving? Exactly the kind of moment Vanessa feared most. Because moments like these reminded Ethan who mattered. And Vanessa couldn't allow that. A few days later, another opportunity emerged. This one involving Sophia. Predictably, the younger Sinclair sister had never mastered the art of minding her own business. Tell me something. Vanessa smiled. That's dangerous. Sophia laughed. I know. Then she lowered her voice. Do you think Amelia controls Ethan? Vanessa nearly smiled. Nearly. Instead, she looked surprised. What? You heard me. Sophia leaned forward. Mom thinks Ethan always listens to her. Vanessa carefully chose her response. The wrong answer would expose everything. The right answer would strengthen the narrative. Finally, she sighed. I think Mr. Sinclair loves her very much. A safe answer. A true answer. Sophia nodded impatiently. Obviously, Vanessa continued. And when people love someone. Another pause. They sometimes stop seeing things objectively. There it was. Not an accusation. Not a claim. Merely a suggestion. A possibility. A thought. Yet Sophia immediately embraced it. Because it fit what she already believed. And people rarely question ideas that confirm existing biases. The real damage came later. At a family dinner. One innocent question. One careless comment. One moment. That's all it took. The family was discussing a new international expansion. Richard strongly supported it. Victoria agreed. Sophia offered opinions nobody requested. Then Ethan casually mentioned concerns. Several concerns. Valid concerns. The kind Amelia had identified days earlier. Richard frowned. You sound hesitant. Ethan nodded. There are risks. Victoria exchanged a glance with Sophia. Then Sophia laughed. What? Sophia smirked. Nothing? Say it? It sounds like Amelia's concerns. Silence. Complete silence. Then Victoria added, she does seem unusually involved in company decisions. There it was. The narrative. The lie. Wrapped in truth. Disguised as concern. Ethan sat back slowly. For the first time, irritation flickered across his face. Not toward Amelia. Toward them? Because suddenly he realized something. His family didn't understand Amelia at all, not even a little. Later that night, Ethan told Amelia about the conversation. Expecting her to laugh. She didn't. Instead, she grew unusually quiet. Amelia? She forced a smile. It's fine. No. It wasn't. Because for years, she had accepted criticism. Accepted judgment. Accepted misunderstanding. But this felt different. Now they weren't merely questioning her motives. They were questioning her relationship with Ethan. Questioning her influence. Questioning her intentions. And somehow, that hurt more. Because the one thing she had always protected was Ethan. Always? Across town, Vanessa sat in her apartment reviewing reports. A satisfied feeling settled inside her. The plan was working. Not perfectly. Not yet. But working. The Sinclair family had started viewing Amelia differently. Not as a gold digger. Not exactly. Something more subtle. More damaging, a woman with too much influence. A woman guiding Ethan's decisions. A woman standing behind the CEO. The irony was almost amusing. Because it was true. every word of it. Amelia was behind many of Ethan's successes. The difference was simple. Vanessa wasn't presenting it as strength. She was presenting it as control. And that single change transformed admiration into suspicion. A truth twisted into something ugly. A lie that sounded like truth. The most dangerous kind of lie there is.